Who would Arthur vote for?
Arthur's dead.
Three cartoons you cannot divorce from the idea of the 90s. Today, Austin Hargrave, Barry Kramer, Alex Faciane, and Shane Gill join me, Forrest Lee, as we enter the winners' semifinals. It's Spongebob Squarepants, Batman the Animated Series, and the Magic School Bus, and this is Madness. Hope y'all are ready for some hot takes, because we're talking about Spongebob Squarepants, the Magic School Bus, and the best animated series ever made.
Good night, everybody.
I don't think that it's as close as
You want a hot take? Magic School Bus, they go to the sun. What gets hotter than that?
We're gonna put
several stars.
Are we gonna stretcher? Are we stretchering Magic School Bus right out the gate? Is that what's happening?
Can we
It's the clear winner, obviously.
we have to at least include it in the discussion.
Do we?
Why are you talking down to
we
Magic
do.
School Bus? It's
We
a
literally
strong
do.
contender here.
I mean, so far we've stretchered one like pretty much right when it's the three. It's like sorry, Courage, sorry.
I mean, we can like crap on it all we want, but I mean, it was a classic show.
it doesn't really
means a
stand
lot
up
to
to
people.
SpongeBob and Batman.
Looking at all three, it's the same thing that we were just saying about Animaniacs. It's like looking at the impact. Let's consider the impact. Is it big enough of a difference to topple SpongeBob or Batman?
The impact is really kind of the impact and
all it's got
how
going for it.
And the nostalgia of nostalgic school bus,
That's better
of Magic
for it.
School Bus,
Nostalgic
Freudian
School
slip
Bus.
there, maybe. That really is all. I mean, at least when compared to these two cartoons, that really is the only strength. That it has, which I mean is obviously not going to be enough, but like, it really does mean a lot to people. It means enough that it got rebooted.
Yeah.
Has Batman gotten rebooted?
Yes,
Yeah.
multiple times.
Don't think so.
I've never even heard of another Batman.
No, there's only been one Batman.
This is the one Batman. I enjoy it. It's all right.
Yo, but if it
It's
was
no SpongeBob though.
if it was the only Batman, I wouldn't be sad.
If this was a we'll get to Batman, I'm sure. If it was
I think
its own standalone thing, I'm a little biased.
I think I was gonna say. I think this is rigged.
Let's talk about Mask of the Phantasm. Alone, if the show didn't exist and it was just Mask of the Phantasm, I would still vote for it.
If the show didn't exist,
It's still the best 90s show.
Yeah, it just
Even though it's not a
the
show.
movie it is enough.
Your angel of death awaits.
We can't cancel out SpongeBob. I mean, like,
No,
No, not
I mean,
at all.
what the heck?
I wasn't going to.
No.
But Magic School Bus, let's.
I mean, like, you guys. I mean,
It's
some of
going on a
us.
field trip upstate.
I'm just saying, some of us. Some of us seem to really think that Batman's gonna win no matter what. So
I'm not convinced.
I'm also not convinced.
I didn't say
but okay, if we're looking at the three of these cartoons, Batman, SpongeBob, Magic School. If we're looking at these and we're using the metric, Barry's metric, they're erased from existence.
the Barry rule.
Yeah, Magic School Bus would be erased instantly.
Here I know.
If SpongeBob was erased, this would be a markedly different
Easy
timeline.
choice.
Yeah.
Easy
if
choice.
Batman was erased, same deal. If Magic School Bus was erased, whatever.
We wouldn't
Yeah,
have even made it
someone
through childhood.
doesn't know what Pluto is.
If Magic School Bus was raced, we wouldn't be here because we'd be flying on a space because we don't understand what gravity does. we wouldn't know the laws of physics and we would just never be here.
We'd be in that
At the
eternal
very-
state of running off the cliff like Wile E. Coyote before he realizes he's off the cliff.
We didn't
Forever.
see the episode about gravity, so it doesn't
Here's the thing.
exist.
Yeah,
Here's the
exactly.
thing. Bill Nye would still exist.
Yeah.
Like kids would still learn.
I
Mr.
think-
Rogers would still be there.
I
Sesame
think
Street.
Bill Nye does everything the Magic School Bus does, but better.
Yeah.
Inertia is a property of matter.
It doesn't do animation better.
Yeah.
I like the intro, actually, Bill Nye's Science Guy even better than Magic
No,
School Bus. now that I
come
think about
on,
it.
the Magic
And Magic
School
School
Bus.
Bus is great, but Bill Nye.
We're talking about a show that isn't even on this bracket.
Right, but we're
About
just
how much
saying-
better
How it might be better.
only to illustrate why we are sending Magic
Yeah.
School Bus to
Matt-
greener pastures somewhere else, because it's not even the best at what it does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Magic-
realistically, it's lucky to have even beaten Ed, Ed,
Magic
and Eddie.
School Bus
Lucky
is
has nothing to do with it.
I agree, because I
It's
voted
the
for it.
best
but-
We
show
have-
on this bracket.
We have to acknowledge the impact of education and like the value of it
Yeah.
in children's programming.
Yeah, what's
And I don't-
Batman teach you? Huh?
But being
How
a
to-
billionaire is cool.
How to be in
Solve
the
your
right
problems
mood.
with money.
Yes.
And your fists.
Yes.
The world is bad.
That's kind of similar to Ed, Ed and Eddie, actually. Now that I think about it.
Ed and Ed.
Money and fists.
Yeah, money and fists. That's pretty good.
I want to see the alternate
And
timeline.
gangrenous tongues.
I want to see the alternate timeline where Batman is just trying to get jawbreakers.
Job breakers.
Yeah.
He's like,
Carlos.
So, okay.
I'm here all night.
Magic School Bus. When it was wheeled out in class and we got to watch it, I enjoyed it.
That was a treat.
You know what I enjoyed more? Going home
And watching
Batman
Watching
or
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. And
Those
sorry,
are not
Magic School
conflicting
Bus.
time slots
I
at
feel
all.
like inside I want to argue that, but I can't. Like, Magic School
can't.
Bus.
I
It's
know
not
you
even that fun to watch. So, why is it in the winner's bracket and Arthur wasn't? That's all I want to know. Maybe.
I think our reasoning for this series is a little, mixed bag.
I mean,
Don't stop tweeting.
it's called Madness. It just, whatever happens on Madness just
It's not a
happens.
reference
Yeah.
to craziness. It's a reference to like feeling angry. It's your madness.
Right.
Your madness level is.
I'm mad that Magic School Bus isn't better because I want it to be, because I
How
want it
close
to
you are to
win,
writing
but it's
that
not
angry
going
tweet.
to.
Yeah.
Then okay, so what's good about SpongeBob then?
What isn't good? What isn't good about SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Yes, please explain to me. Explain why it is up against the best animated series of all time.
Because it's also one of the best.
I'm saying it's biased.
Please
Biased.
explain to me how.
Because SpongeBob, right? You got everything. You got everything you need. You got the humor. You got the heart. You got the wackadoodle. You got the good characters.
Characters that
life
specifically
lessons.
play off of each other,
Right.
like incredibly well.
And it's been going on forever, so they got the depth now at this point. Apparently, Squidward's got character, which is cool.
Yeah, but
So
it's
it's-
got the too many episodes too. It's got
How is that a knock
Doesn't
against
matter.
it?
because
Doesn't matter.
because
Yeah,
it-
that's a null point.
It's too good that they milked it forever.
yeah,
it's
that's what I'm saying.
It
like
saved
part
Nickelodeon
of what's being,
single-handedly.
yeah, but part of what's being good is knowing when to quit. And part of being good is having a concise good.
That's
But
a
you
business
can't-
decision, not a creator
I feel like
decision.
that's not the creator's decision. That's not the show's
Doesn't
fault.
matter.
The original creator bailed, didn't he?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like it's still SpongeBob.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
that-
I would throw any
Okay,
any
how-
episode of Batman.
Batman's been around since the 40s.
Yeah, but Batman the animated series is only 3 seasons.
I'll give you that it is a point. It's such a minuscule point though that it's like
I could
don't think
take
it really
no, but
matters.
I could take any episode of Batman, any one. Name an episode. The Gray Ghost, Almost Got Him. The one where he goes to jail that I can't remember the name of. The Heart of Ice, Feet of Clay.
I can start listing off some SpongeBob episodes.
So let Alex finish his point.
I'm just saying, any one is like equal to any of the other ones. Like they are all.
But
on
wouldn't
that
you
level.
want more Batman?
I would if they were all at that level. But what I'm saying is, SpongeBob, while it has its episodes, Rip My Pants is like an unbelievable episode of SpongeBob. The first episode of SpongeBob,
The clone one.
unbelievable. Yeah, the clone one, the one with the
Talk about the bus stop.
where they're
one.
yeah,
Just about all of them for the first
the one where they're
seasons
scaring each
or
other.
whatever.
Not just about all of them though. because
driving
there's-
test episode. Remember that one?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great one too. But it's not every episode because there's so many episodes that aren't memorable in SpongeBob.
You mean are you talking about the later season?
No, I'm
ones?
not. It's not like an Arthur situation.
Well-
It's like a SpongeBob situation.
Which ones are not? Which ones are forgettable? Do you remember them?
It's impossible.
Tell me what they are.
It's impossible. to come up with that.
He can't even remember them.
You
Yeah.
brought up a point that you yourself can't even prove.
I can't prove it because you're asking.
Yeah, it's unfault. It's unfault.
You don't remember the episodes of Batman you forgot about.
But
That's the point.
But what I'm saying is, any episode of Batman is equal to any other one. That's what I.
You don't know. You can't say that declaratively unless you've recently watched every episode of Batman.
I'm saying if I was a lawyer going into court and I was like,
Which this is.
right,
Basically.
if this was a legal court of law and I was like, and they were like, prove that Batman's good, which episode? I would be like, doesn't matter. But not.
That's the best lawyer strategy. Doesn't
I'm
matter.
serious, but I could, but confidently.
rest my case.
But confidently, I would. I don't look. It's a show. All I can base it off of is what I think of the show, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like I could go into a court of law and be like, pick any one of these Batman episodes. If I was the lawyer for SpongeBob and they saw me do that, I'd be sweating because I couldn't do the same thing.
It's the exact same argument that Austin used for Arthur, which I agree with.
I should have pulled that out. I mean, if I was in a court of law, I could just be like, Arthur, any episode's good. But I mean, that's not
But the
really
point
mean
is that
Do
anything.
you
it's like it
believe
doesn't
that?
matter.
It
if
doesn't
it's
mean
got-
anything.
But do you
Right.
believe that?
Well, I mean, for the first like 7, 8 seasons.
But
yeah.
see, but
Right.
that's not fair because that's not any
But
episode of Arthur.
it's not the show's fault that they wanted to keep making money off. It was so
any
good.
episode doesn't
SpongeBob
matter.
season 6 episode whatever being bad doesn't take away from like the original SpongeBob's all being good.
I agree.
Why?
I think
Why
that's a moot
doesn't it?
point. I think
Why
it
doesn't it?
Because it doesn't.
Just skip that
Are
episode.
we, but
Who
what are you
cares?
talking about?
Well, I mean, I just quit watching Arthur after a certain
If I-
season.
if I watch season 20 something of Simpsons, I don't go, oh well, season 6 isn't good anymore.
But if you're looking at the series and saying which series is the best. If I give you a burger that was like bits of it were moldy, I wouldn't just be like, pick the mold off.
It's not the same thing because you're not eating the whole.
That's the same shit, dude. We have to look at the whole thing.
That's a bad comparison. Like, if you say half the burger's moldy and the other half of the burger is the best burger in the world, I cut off the mold and eat the good part.
And you'd say
the fifth sandwich allegory we've had.
And you'd say this truly was the best burger.
yeah,
And you would just
it
be
was
like,
the best
forget
half
about
of
that.
burger I've ever eaten.
The best part of a burger.
Yeah.
Can you tell we just
But that's
ordered
not the whole
sandwiches and
burger.
burgers on?
That's not the whole burger. Batman, the whole burger's good.
It's the best.
Batman, the whole burger's
it's
good.
The best
That's a
burger.
wrap.
It's the best burger if it sticks in my mind, bro.
Do you understand?
Loud and clear, trusted boy companion.
Okay, I had something I want to bring up about Batman. So, Batman comes from a comic book, obviously, which comics have this really long history of a shared universe.
Yeah.
And I think without Batman the Animated Series, all of the Marvel stuff that's going on now, all of the unfortunate DC stuff going on now, would not be at the place it's at, because Batman was the beginning of the on-film shared universe stuff, because from Batman we got the Superman animated series, we got Justice League, we got all of those spin-offs, Batman Beyond, which we mentioned briefly last time. Its impact has been insane.
But we got Battle for Bikini Bottom from SpongeBob.
I don't care.
I don't discount what you just said. But I don't think Batman the Animated Series is responsible for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Counterpoint to that, I'm on Team Batman here, but counterpoint to that, you could say that because SpongeBob single-handedly saved Nintendo, Nickelodeon. Whatever.
Thank God
Guys,
SpongeBob
I
came
can't
out.
help it, guys. I'm
The
a gamer.
GameCube was saved by Battle for
Can't
We
help
would
it.
not have Breath of
I'm
the
a
Wild
gamer.
without SpongeBob.
I'm a gamer. I love games. Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have any of the other Nicktoons that came after it. Like, literally.
I'd also say, like, biggest impact, SpongeBob has touched way more lives than Batman the Animated Series.
I think so,
They're
too.
not
That's
even
right.
close.
Yeah.
In terms of popularity, definitely SpongeBob is more popular than Batman the Animated Series.
And popularity is not necessarily good, but it is in this case.
I would say that if we're talking about popularity, Batman the Animated Series definitely has more cred in the like sort of like circle of like people who actually make cartoons, people who vote on which cartoons are the best in like industry magazines.
Just think it's
Like,
the hipster show.
It's the hipster show, but also like people who actually know about shit are like, yo, no, Batman the Animated Series, in writing, in art direction, in animation, it's like it showed television animation.
There is
that they
not
need to
a
up their
bad
game.
part of that show.
That's what I'm saying.
There's
Like,
not a bad part. The whole thing is cohesively good.
they had to.
I guarantee I could find a bad part of that show.
You
Good
can,
luck.
You can definitely find
New
something.
Barry video coming soon.
Yeah.
You can definitely find something. to
Everything
make
you
fun
love
of.
sucks.
You can definitely find something to make fun of in Batman. You know, I don't want to like.
Nothing's perfect.
A lot of
It's
the
just-
time,
Slightly cheesy
not,
at times.
It's not a worthwhile
Yeah.
argument.
The
Let's
one-
just- let's
the
just get
one-
into the
I could
crystal.
have said everything about Arthur's perfect, but it doesn't really mean anything. Even though it's true.
the one thing about Batman that's rough, if you want to like really get to the nitty gritty of it, is that a lot of those shows that it spun off aren't as good as this show. They are cheaply made. They're more. You know,
I want to talk about the show itself.
Yeah, I'll talk about the show itself.
Batman the Animated Series. What kind of a supporting cast does it have?
It invented Detective
question.
Montoya.
I'm asking questions. I'm not talking about. I'm like not just like number, but
Okay.
like quality of characters.
Okay.
I'm telling you, these are
Not just
Dude, that
villains
one
gallery.
nerdy kid
No,
that
no,
ran
no,
a toy
okay, let me
shop,
tell
he
you,
was
let me
really
tell you.
cool.
Let me tell you.
Like pretty much every other show on this list, I'm running off of nostalgia
Yeah,
here.
let me tell you. So, if we're talking about the main supporting cast, other than Batman, he had Alfred, the supportive butler who was
He's
there with him
classic
every step of-
Alfred, yeah.
It is one of the best versions of Alfred that exists.
Sure.
I would
Is
say.
it, though?
I would say.
Yeah, it's not great.
I would
That's
say.
what I
That's the version of Alfred that I go to in my mind when someone says Alfred from Batman. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
Alfred.
think
I
a
would-
lot of what Michael Caine pulled from for Alfred in what is probably the most popular version of that character was from the Batman animated series.
I would argue that Alfred in the animated series is just very on point as like I feel like he just does Alfred really well. The Alfred that already existed, he's just alive in a cartoon form exactly. How he
He's
was.
also
Go on.
He's also really funny at points. In the one of the episodes that we watched recently, he walks into the store and the Batman and the other guy walk off, and he just like sees a spot on the table and just starts,
He's
like,
it's
cleaning.
misbehaved. It's rascally kid and like fussy mom is the Batman Alfred. Really.
Bruce.
Other than Alfred, we also have Detective Jim Gordon,
Of course.
who is the another classic character that he is Batman's connection to the police force, and they kind of have this tentative and you're not following the law, but also, man, we really need you.
Does the show delve into Gordon's personal life?
Yeah, he gets. Well,
Okay.
it really does because Barbara Gordon. Barbara Gordon's in there, and also he gets episodes where it's like time for him to be the badass, which is really great.
Nice. He's not just standing on that rooftop like, Batman's gonna come and save the day.
No, he's very much in the show. Yeah.
Other than him, you also have Detective Bullock, who is the more corrupt version of. It is the other side of the Gotham police force.
He's still a cop.
Trying to be a good guy, but he's also,
very cynical.
Yeah. He is like the ideological foil to Gordon. So there's that whole dynamic in the show.
And Montoya, who's the good young girl version of Gordon. Like she's like the sort of like successor.
Reform it from the inside.
Yeah. That and same thing with Harley Quinn. There's now movies starring Harley Quinn, and she seems. You think of Batman and you name 5 characters after Batman, she's on the list.
Oh yeah.
She's from Bruce Timm's animated series. We talked about this last time too. Mr. Freeze. He gets the sort of like
the actual
tragic backstory.
Yeah.
Clayface gets the girth and like oozing size that he gets from.
Can you say girth and oozing again?
Girth and oozing size. Those things come from Batman the Animated Series. Killer Croc became
a sympathetic character.
Yeah, he gets like a Shakespearean vibe to him from Batman the Animated Series. Like the supporting cast of Batman the Animated Series is so good that you don't even notice it's so good, because if you look at it from backwards, it feels like it's like the core of Batman and it's an easy job.
Grab your hat, Rupee, and your checkbook. Tonight may be our lucky night.
Let's not forget that SpongeBob has an excellent supporting cast as well. And
that
you
was
also
my
see
point in the first place.
Yeah, you also see those characters a lot more than you do in Batman. I mean, Batman you usually switch back and forth, and you see one character or the other.
He kind of ping-pongs around.
Yeah, SpongeBob, you see a lot of those.
I don't know about that. I mean,
SpongeBob can just match up 2 characters and be like, here's who we're following.
Squidward and Patrick are in maybe 2/3 of all SpongeBob episodes. Yeah. So very recurring characters.
They're definitely the most shown, but also Mr. Krabs is in there just as much, probably.
Yeah. And going back to
Plankton.
Plankton shows up every now and then.
Squidward being a complex character, I think there is a lot of depth to SpongeBob, and there's one episode that comes to mind for me when Mr. Krabs is being stingy, and there's some scenario that's set up where his soul gets taken away and put in Davy Jones' locker, and
They get him, Dickens kind of thing.
and they get him back, but only on the condition that he stopped being stingy, and he ends up being stingy again, and SpongeBob defends him, and he's like, "Don't take away Mr. Krabs, he's a good guy," and then the Flying Dutchman is just like, "I bet you Mr. Krabs will sell your soul for whatever money's in my pocket." And he's just like, "How much money's in your pocket?" 62 cents. Is deal. And then Squidward comes in, and even though Squidward arguably has no real friends, he goes to Krabs and he's like, "How could you do that to you? How your friend stood up for you?
Yeah.
Squidward said
Your friend stood up for you, and you sold him out. How could you do that?"
Yeah. Squidward understands that office relationships and real relationships are different. That's what's cool about Squid. He's like Bert if you just let the camera roll.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to bring up. The visual style of Batman is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And I will, that is just basically undeniable. But SpongeBob's visuals are also incredibly good as well, and there's more varied types of you get the zoom ins, which are sometimes just completely.
Well,
varied.
Batman has zoom ins too.
It did actually.
It has very counterly looking.
Yeah, I guess that's
who
true.
Who likes
actually.
floral patterns?
Well, I was gonna say for the fact that SpongeBob takes place at the bottom of the sea, and it's you could understand that being a very monotonous kind of location, just sand and the sky is water, but. With the floral pattern stuff, they managed to put a lot of style without it being distracting. It's just this is what our world is like.
Absolutely. I just feel like SpongeBob goes for this sort of mid-century, when we annexed Hawaii and everybody was excited about it. That's the vibe of SpongeBob, which I think is a really bold choice for a cartoon, especially
They're both pretty bold stylistically.
Yeah. I mean, Batman goes ham on Batman. You kind of, I don't know, if somebody was there's going to be a Batman cartoon, you're like, well, there's 2 ways that could go. right? But with SpongeBob, you're like, okay, what? He's a sponge. He lives, and like in terms of just pure inventiveness, you got to go with SpongeBob.
It's a little bit wacky pants.
Yeah, it's wacky. It's like an improv scene that never ended. But it's like
he's a SpongeBob. He lives under the sea in the pineapple.
But
He's got cat's a snail.
It's a yes and taken to like
Into an extreme.
25 years later.
Yeah.
How could I have let the quality of my work slip so much?
The power of SpongeBob is that essentially that creates a blank slate. Like it could be anything. Like there's no real world connection to anything.
Because it's this fantastical thing, but his job is flipping burgers.
Yeah, and so because of that, like they can do it. It's a great stage for a lot of different types of like parody, allegory. Like, oh, this is the XYZ episode. This is the like locked in a room episode. This is the they're tied together episode. You know, like the classic
tropes and stuff.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to start wrapping up. This
Oh,
one's
wow,
gone
really?
by. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, to me, if we're talking about what makes a show the best show ever, I feel like Batman is the complete package.
It doesn't like talk down to its audience. It respects its audience.
Yeah.
And gives them time to like piece things together.
And again,
It's dark before an era of dark being overdone.
Yeah.
And
so-
it's dark, but it's not grim dark.
No.
Yeah.
It's
There's hope.
stylistically dark.
Yeah, he is the Caped Crusader. He is the hope of that place in that city.
And and as much as Tim Burton kind of spearheaded it, we got to give it the credit for number one, Bruce Timm's like completely influential animation style, and B, that sort of nailing that sort of like what time period is it? Like they got cell phones, 1940s.
Yeah.
It is Americana made into.
It's not as goofy as SpongeBob's, but it's a very similar pull, like from like old sort of like.
It's almost like Archer does the same kind of thing. Where
Yes.
you're like, what? They have fax machines and cell phones
Exactly.
and old cars and it's
exactly.
just
There's
everything.
still that element of like anything can happen in this, like mobsters or, you know, cybercrime.
Quinn says it's an old hideout, but the Joker may be using it again. I'm on my way.
Does anyone have a vote that they're like, you know what? I'll do it.
Okay.
I vote for Batman.
Your pin says other. Oh, never mind. It's a Batman pin.
I think that this has been rigged throughout this entire
Collusion.
series. This is not even fair. I should have worn my Arthur shirt.
I'm trying
Would've
to be
helped.
as unbiased as possible, but that's literally impossible for me on this one, and I'm sorry, but
It's not fair how good Batman is to come into this competition.
And they're so different.
My problem is it's hard to compare SpongeBob and Batman. But if we're gonna take the Barry rule, I can't destroy Batman the Animated Series. I can't destroy it. I vote for it.
Well, by my own rule, I'm voting for SpongeBob. Because without SpongeBob, you don't have an era of Nickelodeon that followed afterwards. And as much as I love Batman, I was kind of playing devil's advocate a bit earlier. I adore Batman. I think it's great.
So valid. It's so valid, yeah.
But I think Batman, it's great, but I think the MCU would have happened without it. I think like the Justice League may or may not have happened. The show, not the movie.
Yeah.
So I just feel like SpongeBob defines the 90s in a more influential way than the Batman animated series did, as much as I love that show. So I'm going with SpongeBob.
I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking. You go. You go. I'm genuinely not sure yet. This is not good.
If I'm putting them next to each other and I'm looking at them intently with loving eyes, my two children, who do I gotta shoot?
Bus is just over.
There's a burglar in the room telling me I gotta kill one of them or we're all gonna die. I gotta go with Batman.
Okay. No, Magic School Bus.
I was kind of hoping.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so here's the dilemma I'm having. SpongeBob, I've watched a lot more of it, and I love the show to death. I think it's genuinely hilarious at times. Anyway, it's so many memorable episodes.
It is, yeah.
Batman, I haven't seen as much, and I can't decide if it's almost like you think, oh, I would vote for the nostalgic one, but part of me is like, oh, I kind of want to. I want to see Batman because I haven't seen as much of it, and I'm like, is that why I'm voting for it, or not voting for it?
That's why I vote for X-Men.
We don't talk about that anymore. How many times did I say, guys, don't bring up Arthur anymore? Tired of talking about
F
it.
is for friends who
I think-
stuff together. U is for you.
I don't even actually remember what the vote count is right now, so...
It's 3-1.
Who would Arthur?
Is it? So it doesn't even matter.
Who would Arthur vote for?
Arthur's dead. He's died.
That's like season
He's
4.
no longer around.
That's like pretty early in Arthur.
Yeah, wow.
They keep him. The rest is all
I think-
flashbacks.
I think I am. It actually makes it easier knowing it doesn't matter. I'm gonna vote for SpongeBob.
Yeah.
It was incredibly close though. I like. This is. I feel like I've said this for the last like 3 or 4 votes. Oh, this is the hardest one. This one's even harder. I don't.
This one was. This
I mean,
one.
it's the
Well,
finale.
it wasn't for me. But this
It's not the
was
finale. It's close. It's who's gonna be.
SpongeBob versus Batman is a big. I feel like there's.
That could have been the final
I
round.
feel like
right
yeah.
there.
I feel
In
like
my
they're
head it was. I
feeling it.
forgot if Magic School Bus was even around.
Yeah, I feel like they're feeling it out there too. You know, this is a big choice. It's like totally 2 different tones, but I can't not.
And it always comes down to personal preference on this show. That's how we have to decide everything. If we were completely 100% objective on these, that'd be boring.
How would you be objective about
We'd
this?
have to make we'd have to make a scale based on how much money they earned or
Yeah,
like how many.
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait.
Well, Batman actually is pretty big. I'm not even mad that SpongeBob lost to Batman.
It's if anybody like I don't know, they're like the 2 big ones.
I think
should watch more-
this is probably the hardest decision, maybe in the entire tournament. To be honest.
But we'll see.
I don't even remember what's in the
see.
next bracket though.
No,
We should watch
I-
more Batman when we
Who do you think should have made it to the winners finals? Let us know down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe as we continue the winners semifinals. And check out the losers bracket to see our thoughts on shows that got eliminated early.